I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY, and I'm finally here, you guys. I apologize, child. We were traveling, and I was trying to beat it back to the house, but I am finally here. So welcome, everyone. Please let me know that you can hear me by putting your city, your state, your country, your island, your territory, wherever you are from, into the chat. And then also drop your side dish. I need to know what you guys have brought to the cookout, okay? I got the peach cobbler and some other things. But going ahead and put it on the picnic table, child. We got things to talk about with this show. This is Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 11, Episode 12. And I just want to say brava. Brava, okay? Come on in, everyone. Welcome. I see my sister is here. You said you're glad that the flooding in Atlanta. We made it, girl. This is my sister, clone in the house. We got the same mama, same daddy, okay? Same mama, same daddy. Also, my Cleveland sister, Cheryl the Pearl, is here. That's right. Hello, everyone. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Nice to have you, Miss Cheryl the Pearl. Thank you. I also want to say hello to my members. Y'all know how I feel about y'all. Come on in. I see a lot of new people here. Welcome. Thank you guys for coming through. There's plenty of food for everybody. Elizabeth is in the house. If you want to become a member, you can by hitting the link at the top of the chat. Thank you, Elizabeth, for hanging out with us for today. We also got Melissa in the house. Come on in. We got Lulu in the house. Welcome, Lulu. Nice to have you, girl. Who else? I got my friend Kevin in the house. Welcome, Kevin. Hey, what is up? We got Trinidad in the house with sweet potato pie. Come on in. Ciao. And if you guys are interested in the brim, okay, head over to my IG page. That's where I got the link. And y'all can get the hookup over there, okay? But yes, y'all see it. First I hit a tree, then I hit a pole, then I hit an animal. That still makes me laugh right now. What's up, Deidre from San Antonio? I used to live in San Antonio, child. You got the pineapple upside down cake. Nice to have you, girl. Come on in. Yes, this man is something else. When I tell y'all, Martell said, fuck it, I'm taking my place back on this show. He certainly did. Martell was a card these last couple of episodes. Let me know if you guys can hear me, okay? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, cool. Martell said, I'm taking my damn spot back on this show. F the Scots, I don't care. Pack be damned. I'm not following any more packs because, baby, the way Martell is clowning and showing out is killing me. Okay, I see y'all. Y'all said that y'all can hear me. Cool. Yes, so couple of things, okay? I just want to put this out here based on what happened at the end of the show. Did y'all get the impression that Marceau and Martell squashed their beef after Marceau put a battery in Tisha's back saying you shouldn't be friends with Destiny because she's friends with Martell? Did y'all get the impression that Marceau and Martell squashed their beef? Because when he said something like, me and Martell have had the most like fallouts and issues in this group, and we cool now, I was like, what? You said, where is the leak joining? Hold on, girl. Let me get the link up for you, child. I could not believe it. I said, baby, all the stuff that you have brought to Tisha's doorstep, and now you're saying that you and Martell are friends again? That is hilarious. Okay, I just put the link into the chat. So that's the first thing I wanted to bring up. The second thing I want to bring up is Miss Kimmy Scott. Miss Kimmy Scott and her shit starting skills are in rare form. After all of the complaining about, oh no, it's my is my volume going bad? Can y'all hear me? I'm trying to put it so that everybody can hear me. But Miss Kimmy Scott says she didn't want no problems on this trip. She didn't want anybody to start anything with anybody. Let's not invite Martell. And the way she brought the thunder, she ignited the thunder. That's what she did. Martell is the thunder, but Kimmy definitely ignited it. Kimmy definitely ignited it. We're going to talk about that and then some. Okay. So y'all make sure y'all hit my like button and share this video, because y'all know I have been watching this show since the beginning and I like to bring in everything. Okay. You hear me just fine. Thank you, girl. Okay. The other thing I want to post is, y'all know I use this sunscreen, Black Girl Sunscreen. Here is my purchase right here. You can see it with your own eyes. I use 50 SPF. Broad spectrum. It's also water resistant. You can be underwater for about 80 minutes before you have to reapply, but it is an excellent sunscreen. Get yourself some, okay? This is actually, this is a Black product, by the way. Black Girl Sunscreen is also has a Black, excuse me, the person who owns the product brand is also Black. So just in case you want to know. You said glad Kimmy's ish backfired. We're going to get into it, y'all. So let's start off with Kimmy and Maurice. Let me get my screen back up here. Kimmy and Maurice, they are at home at the crib. Shout out to Martell for using the word crib again. But yeah, Kimmy and Maurice are back at the crib, and they're talking about this trip at the cabins, right? Kimmy's preparing, I guess it's going to be a 3-day weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. She's invited everybody on the trip, including friends of the show. The only person I didn't see was Sharon, and I don't know if maybe she just couldn't come, but everybody else is there, okay, including friends of the show. And she's telling Maurice that she's getting gift bags together. Y'all know Kimmy has a candle line, so she was giving away a free candle in her little bag. She got everything planned, including excursions, boat rides, all kinds of stuff. Even the food, child, down to the last detail. Kimmy said, what you ain't going to do is talk about my trip, okay? In case they have some in the future, but shit looked like it was popping. Anyway, Kimmy said, we're going to stay local. We got some sort of, I guess it's like cabins that's right there in the area. And I don't know what area it is, child. Y'all can put it in the chat if you know. But she said it's next to the beach. It has good food. She says she has left no stone unturned when it comes to this trip. And then she asked her husband, Maurice, she said, you can't have what on a couple's trip, right? She said, what is it that you can't have on a couple's trip? And he said, or you can't go without on a couple's trip. And Maurice said, sex, like he always does. Okay, just to let us know, despite the counseling, he's still on that same demon time. Okay, make sure that the refrigerator is full, Kimmy, both the LG version and what you got going on. Make sure that the refrigerator is completely full and unlocked. Okay, and unlocked. Next, they talked about how the group is fractured. Y'all have heard me use this word many times. The group started fractured, okay? But he said the group is really fractured right now. The Fletchers got their parents, or her dad is living in the home, and then, you know, their adult children stays giving them the blues. He was talking about how Ken and Trisha, we don't know where they are, and they're on again, off again relationship. And then Kimmy said that Tisha and Marceau are also going through it. She said when the two of y'all went to the back to talk in that little cigar lounge or whatever it is, she said that Tisha was telling her that she doesn't feel supported by Marceau in her projects or anything else she has going on. Y'all remember Tisha said, baby, sometimes I just want to go home and vent. Okay, I had a hard day with my friends or whatever it happens to be. And she said, Marcel's giving Tisha the blues, like either suck it all the way to cup. I don't want to hear that shit. Okay. Or, you can get on. I don't know. So Tisha says she does not feel supported. She's not sure where this relationship is going. And Marie said, damn, that's shocking because Marceau was saying the exact same thing to me, that he doesn't feel supported, that Tisha's like a windsock. First, she says she wants to go to work. And then when he, let's say it's cool, let's get it built. Why don't you go on outside and see what it's like out there? That Tisha calls and says, baby, I want to come home, work. I want to be a stay-at-home wife. That's the story that Marceau is telling Maurice, which is true because we've all heard her say that. I want to be outside. And then she came back and said, no, I don't want to be outside anymore. So he said, I don't know where to support her. What I do know is the shit she wants to do, she does it. She don't think how it affects us, how it affects the team. In fact, it's very selfish, some of the stuff that she wants to do, like go to school and whatnot. But he said she's not a team player at this point, and I'm not sure how far I can take it with Tisha. Okay, so that was hilarious, child. I also want to thank Miss Elizabeth for blessing the channel. I did not see that a little earlier, but thank you, Elizabeth, for blessing the channel, child. Love you, girl. Anyway, she said, yeah, he said, I don't know what's going on. So now the two of them are like, ooh, that's pretty crazy. Kimmy says, listen, that teammate shit, I'm not so sure if I buy it. Marceau doesn't want a teammate. What he wants is to call all the shots and for Tisha to fall in line. Kimmy, I don't know how that's going to play out for you at the reunion, hun, but we'll see. Yeah, she said, baby, that's not calling the shots. That's not a teammate. He wants to call the shots and he wants Tisha to fall in line. He doesn't want that girl to have an opinion about anything that goes on in their life. She's right. She's right. Anyway, Marie says at the end of the day, Kimmy, that business is overtaking their marriage. And business should never overtake or interfere with marriage. And Kimmy said, I agree. I agree 100%. Then Kimmy said, now that got me thinking. Since we're going on these cabins, and I know for a fact that business is usually what gets Martell popping off with your brother, because he's still butt hurt that Marceau operates Scope, and he's not a part of that shit no more. Not only that, but Marceau got his name on a couple of projects around town, and the Hope name is missing from all the buildings. So because of that, why don't we leave his black ass at home? That way, we can make sure that we have a really positive trip. That's what Kimmy tells her husband. Kimmy said, listen, and I just want to remind y'all, because I have been saying this for many years, Marceau and Martell has started out on this show fighting each other about that business, and we never got the full details of it. But y'all remember when the panorama happened and Love and Mirror Huntsville took a break, Marceau put a restraining order on Martell because Martell threatened to whoop his ass. This was after first season reunion. Whatever happened spilled out. And then I think they were on hiatus with filming because of the panorama for 6 months or so. And then when they started filming, when they started filming again, when they came back in season 2, Melody says, first episode, first scene, that motherfucker put a restraining order on Martell. She knows that he's not going to do anything He knows he's not going to do anything to him. He's just trying to destroy our business connections, our business relationships in Huntsville. And we were all like, we were so mad at Marceau. We were so mad at Marceau that Marceau had to drop the damn case. In the meantime, Melody got all the way to the last season of her time on Love and Marriage Huntsville and said, I don't know what Martell is capable of, but I am putting bodyguards across the street, over the river, through the woods, baby. Make sure y'all have this house surrounded. Have this house surrounded. But first season, Marceau put a restraining order on Martell. And I said, those two have the worst relationship. They are very competitive, business-wise or whatever else. And they still never told us how they really broke apart. So I'm hoping we get that story. Production, if you're listening, we really need to know how this all happened. But Kimmy says she's tired of the fight and shit between Marceau and Martell. And she believes that the best way to handle it is to keep Martell at home. He can't bring no woman anyway. He can't bring nobody anyway. And this is a couples trip. Okay. So anyway, after that, Marie says, listen, Martell has been cool for the last couple of outings. You'd have to agree. And Kimmy said, I don't have to agree to shit. I don't think he should be there. And he said, well, I think he can come. I think everything's cool. He's been fine these last couple of episodes, or these last couple of outings. So Maurice is rooting for Martell to be there, and Kimmy's rolling her eyes. But it's interesting, this relationship we look at the relationship between Marceau and Martell, but the relationship between Martell and Maurice is pretty kooky too. Pretty kooky. All right. Anyway, it's the day of the cabins. Everybody's showing up. Welcome, y'all. 340 of you are here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hit the like button, share the video, become a subscriber if you are not already, and talk to me in the chat, y'all. So everyone is pulling up on these cabins and they're talking about how pretty they are, how beautiful they are. You see 3 big cabins. 3 big ones, okay? And we find out that only the core group, the ones that started the show, are allowed to stay in those big cabins, the main cabins. So the couples get 1, Scott 1 and 2, and then Martell gets 1 by himself, right? I see what you did there, Kimmy. Y'all remember in St. Thomas, Kimmy said the OGs are supposed to get the better, and then everybody else can get the little cabins, right? She played it out exactly the way she talked about it in St. Thomas. So even though she can't stay in Martell, she said, I'm still going to give him the big house because he's a part of the core group. Now, everybody's showing up. The person who is late is Trisha. Trisha is late to getting to the cabins because she was in family court, y'all, getting a divorce from Marquez, her ex-husband. But Ken is there. Ken shows up to the cabins early. And when Maurice and all of them are like, where's Trisha? He's like, oh yeah, she's at court. She has some stuff to do at home. And it gives you the impression at first that she's not coming, or maybe, she'll be there the next day or whatever. But I guess she didn't want to be at home by herself. So she ended up driving to the cabins. They didn't expound on it. Maybe they couldn't get her to talk because the girl was distraught. Like as soon as she walks up, you can just see it in her face. She's done. But anyway, after all of that, we also see the Fletchers. They come in. Destiny comes in. And then Will arrives the next day. Everybody gets to their room and they get their little gift baskets with the candles and whatnot. She also gives them an itinerary along with instructions on what they're supposed to do every day. And the night that they all arrive, they're going to do a Love Jones themed night where she asks everyone to write a letter or a poem, a love letter or poem to someone they love, or you can even write it to yourself. And then you're also supposed to write a letter to someone else in the group, right? So that everybody gets something, hopefully. What's up, everybody? Come on in, you guys. Anyway, everyone actually seems to like their room. No complaints whatsoever. Everybody is happy. Now we get a scene with Destiny and Martell. Oh my goodness. I hate to say this, but I told y'all this last week. Martell is funny as hell. I did not realize he has a different part of his personality that's showing up in these last couple of scenes that we haven't seen before. Before he seemed like just like a begging, whimpering mutt. You know what I'm saying? Always begging for something. Finally, he's standing on his own 2 feet and he realizes that he got to get back his shit back in gear. And I like this Martell better than what we've seen in the past, okay? Personally. But Martell walks in Destiny's room chipper. Chipper as hell. Hey, what's up, Destiny? Okay, and before he can close the door, Destiny checked his ass, okay? Destiny said, don't come in here being all fake because the Scots are giving you preferential treatment. Now, Destiny's basically referencing that damn big house because she got a smaller little room. And even though that room is cute as hell, she's like, yo ass is up there in the big house. They could have at least given it to Chris Fletcher and Chris and Nell, but don't come in here with all this chipper ass energy. What's up? What's up? Why you think the Scots is giving you preferential treatment? Why do you think that? And Martell goes, what? What's with this? What I do? And Destiny said, you don't think that they put your ass up there for a reason? What's going on with you? You don't, why wouldn't they put you out here? They don't listen, sir. If Trisha don't like me for saying friendship Tourette's, there's no way on God's green earth they could like you. Do you know the shit that has poured out of your mouth these last couple of seasons? 20 girlfriends. What else did you say? Talking about Trisha was some dude in the backseat of a Buick. And then my personal favorite, if you saw my dick, what it looked like. You asked Maurice to tell you what your dick looked like. Okay? Destiny said, don't play with me. Don't play with me. We know how the Scots get down. You know they drag your ass from here to Timbuktu. And I'm sitting here getting dragged and your ass is in the big house while we all get these tiny houses. No, sir. Nuh-uh. And Martell said, I'm going to have the best of everything no matter where I go or what I do. That's number one. I don't give a shit about the Scots. I don't feel no ways tired about them. And I'm not even really for sure what you're complaining about. That house up there on the hill is where I'm supposed to be. It's where I'm supposed to be. They know everything I said was true. So I don't know why they would get pissed. I'm gonna need you to get yourself out your feelings, Destiny, okay? Turn that frown upside down, girl. Stop complaining. It is what it is. Anyway, Martell basically said, hell no. And them boys know better than to try to do anything to me because Destiny basically said, you better sleep with one eye open because I have a feeling them Scout boys is going to put some bricks in a damn pillowcase and start whack-a-tack-tacking your ass in your sleep, bruh. So listen, you might want to camp outside before you camp in that house. I wouldn't trust it. The way Destiny tried to plant that seed of doubt was absolutely delicious. I actually thought that was hilarious. Destiny said, absolutely not. Anyway, in confessional, Destiny said that whatever has happened in the past between Martell and the Scots, Marceau and Maurice, it always rears its ugly head in these group events. So she said, it's going to happen and we just got to figure it out. And I say to you, Destiny, somebody better tell us, the audience, what the hell happened because we are tired. We are tired of trying to figure it out. What went down between y'all where y'all went y'all separate ways and then decided to come back together to film a television show of all the things where you had to pretend to be friends with each other for a little while. 2-3 episodes before it all went to shit. Please tell us. Because, baby, there's so many rumors out there and stories, it's not even making sense right now. But we'd love to know because The stories that did come out, they were lies. That much I do know. They were lies, okay? Anyway, in another room, in another scene, excuse me, we have Maurice tell Kimmy, because this is Maurice and Kimmy's anniversary, by the way. So they're here to celebrate their anniversary with their friends. But then we hear Maurice tell Kimmy that Trisha's divorce was finalized today. And you could see it all over her face. She's no good to anybody. So he wants to, give the girls a heads up. And then we get a scene with Trisha and Ken where Ken tries to get her to talk about it, but Trisha doesn't budge. He's like, so what happened today? She went, when? The girl is completely gone up here and you can see it. And he said, what happened? At court. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And she goes, oh, well, they're going to send the divorce papers. We should get them by Friday. That's all she was willing to give. I don't know how you could be in a relationship like that where you can tell someone is down bad and they don't talk to you, but she wouldn't say a word. And Ken just wiped his head and said, and I'm not going to ask you any more questions. Like I said, we now know that Ken was supposed to be out that house by 5. I don't know if she sent him a text or what, but he showed up at the cabin first. He was there before her. Then she showed up. But y'all, if y'all heard about the divorce stuff, y'all know that the biggest thing was Ken had to be out the house, and then her and Marquez were going to share custody. I forgot what the setup was, but she had primary custody in the home, and then Marquez had like a schedule for when he could call his kids, specifically the daughter, because the oldest son, he's grown for all intents and purposes. But there was a time schedule that he could only call his daughter. And then if he ever wanted to, visit her or do some sort of overnight, it would have to be approved by Trisha several days ahead of time. Like he couldn't just do a pop-up. You know what I'm saying? And say, I'm in town. I like to take my daughter. He would have to call and say, I'm going to be in town on Friday next week. Can she spend the night at my mom's house? That type of thing. So there was some other stuff listed, but that was the basics of it. And so I don't know if she was just grieving or what, but the girl was gone. It could be that she was grieving because she had a whole lot of shit happening in her life at the time. Marcel and Tisha divorce came up. Child, hold on. I know that they're going to talk about this next week, Marcel and Tisha, but I'm not sure. Hold on, y'all. I am Googling. No. Okay, I don't see it. I see a bunch of YouTubers, basically just gossip pages, but I don't see anything else that suggests that they are divorced. Not yet anyway, but something's going to happen on the reunion stage, not next week, but the week after, where divorce is going to be discussed. And I don't know who it's about. Okay. But because Marcel has already said it out loud, so has Maurice, we'll see. But as of right now, no. Okay. Anyway, where am I? So after that, basically we just know that Trisha's going through it. Maybe she's thinking of the loss of her family members. I'm going to assume so. And then the finalizing of this divorce may feel like another death, because everybody who go through divorce, they all say the same thing, that divorce feels like death. So it could be that that's all being recycled through her head, but she showed up here anyway. And yeah, we'll see what happens next. Okay. So next scene is the group dinner. Group dinner looked amazing. Kimmy had greens, macaroni and cheese, cornbread, ribs, child, brisket. I don't know who catered it, but everything was hot and ready, and people looked like they were feeding their face. Plenty to drink, okay? The whole spread. Anyway, Kimmy said, listen, let's start reading these letters. Y'all know she had them do this assignment to write a love letter to themselves or someone else. And they also had to write a personal note to someone else. And I'm just going to give y'all a summary because these notes were long, okay? So first up, they asked Martell, is there anything you would like to say? Please read your love letter. Read your note to the group. And Martell said, I didn't write nothing. I didn't write a love letter. I didn't write a poem. I didn't write nothing. Okay? And Kimmy said, why, Martell? And he said, well, the person that I would like to give my poem to isn't here. Isn't here anyway. So there's no reason for me to go reciting it. Other than that, I want to thank y'all for inviting me. That's his letter. I want to thank y'all for inviting me. I appreciate the invite. That's it. That's it. But he did make that comment that the person he would like to give his love letter or his poem to was not at the event. Now, who could that be? Who? Who? Oh my goodness. Put it in the chat if y'all think y'all know. Child, I don't think either one of them is over the other, just based on the shit I've seen. Those two be talking a lot, reminiscing a lot about the old days. Reminiscing a lot about the old days. Anyway, Ken also thanks everyone for welcoming him into the friendship group. He said, I really have learned a lot from the uncles, and I really appreciate y'all inviting me and being so welcoming and warm to me. And he said there's no place he'd rather be. So that was cute. I do want to point out that he did not give a love letter to Trisha. It was not shown. And Trisha does not give him a love letter. And she's free as a bird. She should feel like this is her time to really make things work between the two of them. But that's where his note stopped. Okay. Nell Fletcher thanks Kimmy for inviting her for real this time, because y'all know that Kimmy is quick to snatch an invite from Nell Fletcher. So Nell Fletcher said, baby, I don't want you to think that this moment is wasted on me, because I don't like you, I don't like your husband, and neither one of y'all like me. Neither one of y'all like me. So I do want to say, I appreciate you for inviting me. And despite what's out there, I prefer peace. I do prefer peace. So thank you. Thank you for letting us come. And she was very humble in saying it. And Miss Kimmy said, you're welcome. Everything you said is right. I don't fucking like you. And I thought long and hard about whether or not I should invite you. But in the end, girl, you here, child. We almost at the end of this show. So yeah, you can come this time. Don't show your ass though. Good. Kimmy and Maurice, they also write a letter to each other, their love letters. And all y'all need to know is that in this letter, even though Maurice fixed his mouth to damn near say, I want a divorce not too long ago, in this particular moment, Maurice and Kimmy tell each other that they are going to be together forever, ever. Okay. And then I think Kimmy put a few extra evers on it. Okay. The refrigerator is always open, baby. Always. That's all y'all need to know about them. Then Kimmy gives a really sweet note to Trisha. I think everybody teared up just a little bit when she gave a note to Trisha. And she basically said, you know what? We don't know each other that well, but when I am around you, you are a bright light. I can tell that you have a lot to offer. I can tell that you are down and out. You know what I'm saying? With everything that's going on between the two of y'all. But I am happy that you are here and that we are, becoming friends. So Trisha started dabbing her eyes. It was something she needed to hear. And I told y'all, Ken didn't write nothing to Trish. At least that's not, production didn't show it. Production didn't show it, okay? Next letter, Destiny Payton. Destiny Payton took a page out of Snoop Dogg's book. Took a page out of Snoop Dogg's book and said, listen, I want to thank me. I'm writing this love letter to myself. I appreciate you, baby girl, for keeping your head up and your feet planted down when shit got tough. I've had Destiny Payton has had her own back this entire time. I'm stronger and smarter than I ever thought I was or even could be. And I love me to pieces. And the entire time she was talking, she had a big smile on her face. Destiny doesn't give a damn what people think about her no more. Good. It's about time. Thank you, girl. Keep pushing and stop worrying about what people think. Those thoughts are going to kill you. They'll put you in the grave. You're never going to do what everybody wants you to do anyway. They're going to call your names, all kinds of shit. You keep it pushing. So Destiny said, I am my biggest fan. I've never let myself down. Okay. Good for Destiny. Take the poll at the top of the chat, because now we're going to talk about Trisha and Marceau. Trisha and Marceau wrote some very interesting letters. Very interesting. Now, last week's episode, Marceau said, I'm not sure if I can spend forever with Trisha. I'm not sure this is what I want. Them kids about to be out the house soon. I'm just going to put it out there. Okay? I don't want it to come as a surprise to anybody. I used to say, if me and Trisha divorce, it's because Trisha has to divorce me. Now, I'm feeling differently. This is what he tells his brother last week. This week, Marceau basically tells Trisha that he's a hard person to love. This is what I took from it. He's a hard person to love. He doesn't know how to love. But Trisha taught him how, when, and where when he couldn't. Okay. So not that you're expecting certain messages, especially since they've been married for damn near 20 years. Trisha, you gave me 3 children, beautiful children that'll love me for the rest of my life, no matter what I do. You know what I'm saying? Damn near. But he said that he wakes up every day for Trisha. He goes to bed for Trisha, that Trisha has taught him some hard lessons about love. And he is basically saying to her that if it wasn't for her, he's not sure that he'd be in this place in his life with knowing how to love. Don't know. The whole time he was saying it, though, when he first starts, I can tell you that Trisha bites her lip. She never looks at him. She never looks at him. She kind of looks like into the distance, but she never turns and looks at Marceau while he's talking about it. He doesn't grab her hand. He just reads from the paper. It was like really uncomfortable. It wasn't like Maurice and Kimmy where they're kind of looking in each other's eyes and all that shit. And I'm going to tell you something else that was funny. When Marceau was reading his love letter to his wife, Destiny had this Destiny had this smile on her face, like, you know how you don't want to bust out laughing? You don't want everybody to see you laughing. But Destiny definitely shrunk up a little bit, like, bitch, just in case I start cracking the fuck up, I want to make myself small so y'all don't see me as much, okay? But after he does that, Trisha doesn't say thank you. Tisha's really cold in this entire response after Marceau says this. Now we have Trisha, who basically says to Marceau that over the last 7 years, she doubted that Marceau loved her at all. There were times where she questioned this man's love for her or if he even loved her at all. They were like ships passing in the night. And she basically said that she had to struggle and fight to stay with him. I told y'all last week that it was Trisha who was trying to figure out if she was going to leave him. And I also told you even though I don't have any proof of this, but Melody on her live one time, when her and Wanda were into it for something, Melody said, your daughter called me last year and asked me a question, asked me for advice. And she told me not to tell anybody. And that's the only reason why I'm not repeating it. But you don't even know what the fuck's going on in your family. And I went, I wonder if she called her about divorcing Marcel. I really did. But I said that to y'all. Anyway, Tisha ends up basically saying that Marcel helps her be better and helping her figure it out every day, and that she's happy she's on this journey with him together, right? Hey, come on in. Welcome. Thank you guys. But yeah, it was hilarious a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I told y'all to let me know who you thought had the most sincere poem. Was it Marceau or was it Tisha? And this is what y'all said in the chat. If you are watching the replay, go ahead and put your vote in the comment section. Whose note do you think was more sincere? 73% of y'all said Tisha. 26% of y'all said Marceau. You believe that Tisha saying, Marceau, I've had a struggle trying to figure out if you loved me at all, and if we were going to continue this relationship. Absolutely. Absolutely, Tisha was more sincere. And I think that when she wasn't paying attention to him, I think it's because she didn't believe anything that he was saying at all. I mean, there's moments during the trip where you can see them like taking selfies and Marceau's hugging Tisha and stuff like that. But Tisha and Marceau they're still having a hard time. You said overall Destiny's was the most sincere. Destiny's letter was to herself. Was to herself. Anyway, who else? Trisha also writes a letter about loss and grieving, child. She said that heaven could have waited for her mama and her daddy because she needed them that night more than ever. She said, I need guidance with the shit that just happened to me today. So even though people read those court documents, my guess is that something went down in that court that really fucked her up. It wasn't just what people read in the documents. And she said that she wishes that she had her mother and father's guidance, because right now she is having some challenges in her life. And I don't know, Trisha, I hate that for her. I hate that she doesn't feel like she could talk to anybody or get it out on screen. But I do know she didn't say shit to Ken about it. The last letter was to Martell, and this was from Chris Fletcher. Chris Fletcher basically gave him a letter about the importance of friendship, the importance of grace, the importance of understanding. He said, we all have families to feed, households to lead, Martell, and you seem to bump your head the most. You seem to challenge your friendships the most. So maybe you can just pipe down a little bit, back up, pay attention, because people do love you and want to see you do well. That was his speech, okay? Womp womp. Martell said that he appreciates the advice from Chris. He's been through a lot of shit. He said he might not take the advice all the time. I might not take the advice all the time, but I do appreciate that he took the time out to write me a letter. It went in one ear and out the other, literally. All right, the next day is the caves, okay? So everybody's getting ready for the caves. Will and his big self, Will is big as hell. Will arrives the next day. He goes to visit Destiny, child. They flirt a little bit. It's actually cute to see Destiny flirt with Will, even though Destiny said he could never, ever, ever, ever. They do have a little chemistry. Like you can tell she knows he's trying to get into them draws, and he knows it too. Okay. In confessional, the producer said, what do you like about Will? And she said, listen, it's nice to have another single person on the trip. Production reminds her that Martell is single. And she said, baby, Martell is not single. He actually has a partner, but y'all treat his ass like he's single because he can't bring him to the show. So Destiny said, we can break the fourth wall if you want to, but don't play that with me. Okay. All right. Now, next up, the whole group are going on their excursions. They have a cave hike that they're going to do. The cave is a 500,000 years old, or almost a 500,000 years, 500,000, right, a 500,000 years old. I was right. It was very, very cool. Their guide had one tooth, one, and he walked them through the caves. It was real cute. Y'all can go look at the scene if you missed it. I'm sure a whole bunch of people is going to go down there and visit because of that scene, though. It was just a real cute look. I forgot what park it's called. Is it the Cathedral Caverns? The Cathedral Caverns is what it was called. Okay. Next up, we got the boat rides. Now, Kimmy decided she was going to get 2 boats, one for the men and one for the women, which was very smart because we don't want the men in the women's business and vice versa. All right. So she wants everybody to talk out their little grievances, whatever they have, get to bond with each other more. And we're going to start with the women's boat. So on the women's boat, y'all know it is Trisha, Kimmy, Tisha, Destiny, and Nell Fletcher. And really none of them have beef except for Destiny and Kimmy, Destiny and Tisha. And Kimmy points out, it's really nice to see the 2 of you on the boat laughing, kikiing, whatever they happen to have been doing before Kimmy stirs the fucking pot instead of just letting them figure it out. But Destiny said, yeah, I mean, we're laughing and stuff, but we're still not right. We're still not right. I don't find it cool, the shit that Tisha's been doing these last couple of weeks, the constant judgment of my character, of me as a woman, and our friendship. Tisha has went too far. This is what Destiny says out loud. She does not mince words and she does not give a fuck, all right? And Tisha said that she misses Destiny in their friendship because they used to be real tight. We used to be tight, kiki and ha-ha all the time. We had these moments, and now we're not like that anymore. But Destiny, you took some low blows. And Destiny's like, what did I do, Tisha? Like, you keep saying this low blow shit like you didn't start it. You started it. Anyway, Tisha said that comment you made about friendship Tourette's, which I don't think she knows what it means because she's holding on to that shit. It was a joke. It didn't even mean anything, not to mention the fact that you heard it secondhand. You heard it from Kimmy. And why Destiny didn't knock Kimmy upside the head or off the fucking boat, which she should have done at this point, because I would have said, Kimmy, what the fuck did you tell her that has this girl in her feelings like this? Because that wasn't even anything to take back to her. If you want to be for real, that was something I said to you. And I wasn't even being, you know what I'm saying? It was a joke. So why would you even take it back? And now this girl's holding on to it when she don't even know what the fuck it actually means. So she didn't say that though. What she did say was, Tisha, it was a joke. And everybody laughed. Everybody thought it was funny. And I'm going to tell you something else. Everybody fucking agrees that you do have friendship Tourette's. 1 minute you're cool, the next minute you're not. But I didn't mean anything by it. So Destiny says that. Tisha said, I don't care that you think you didn't mean anything by it. My problem is that you're talking about me with other people behind my back. And I don't have friendship Tourette's or whatever you call it. I don't have that. What I have is when someone says or does something to me, I confront them. And if you don't want me to say anything, then you wouldn't do anything to me. And all Tisha's letting us know is that Marceau has made her so insecure that the girl believes that she is beyond reproach. People can say things about you and to you. That's life. Not everybody's going to say, oh, you know what? Let me call Tisha for every little fucking second of thought that I have in my brain. That's not how anything works, girl. But the way she ends up saying this lets me know, number one, like I said, she doesn't even know what it meant. Because if she did, she wouldn't even take it that personally. It wasn't that big of a deal. But she continues. She says, I hold people accountable. So Destiny, if you feel like I've yelled at you or I've said something to you, confronted you in any way, you deserved it. And now Destiny has a smirk on her face, kind of like the smirks that Tisha used to get mad at Melody for. Like, I know that facial expression. And this is what makes Tisha really upset, because at some point when Tisha gets to this place, all you can do is look at her like, I don't even know if it's worth it for me to say something to you, because I know it's not going to land. You know what I'm saying? It's never going to land for you in the first place. So now Destiny is just looking at her like, girl, what do you want from me, bitch? You know what I'm saying? And that makes Tisha even more uncomfortable, because she doesn't like for people to look at her a certain way. It's all the shit that Marceau does. And we've seen him do this before. Him and Tisha be having a back and forth, and then Marceau will just walk out the house and leave her mid-sentence. I'm not having any more discussion with you. I'm off to the bar, or wherever he goes. Who knows? Anyway, after she makes that comment, Destiny says, listen, girl, I apologize to you whenever I've hurt your feelings. Every single time, Tisha. If I've done something that I recognize, I apologize to you. But you're holding on to all of this shit. I don't know what you want me to do. Tell me specifically what you've done. Or tell me specifically what I've done. Because as of right now, I've apologized too many fucking times, Tisha. So I don't owe you anything else. Tisha asked Destiny if she thought she went too low talking about her husband. And Destiny gives her a look again. And she basically tells Tisha, what I said to you was a response. I didn't just go talking about your husband, bitch. You told me something and I followed up with something, telling me I'm not protecting you in rooms. I let you know what was up. It didn't come from nowhere. You keep missing the point. You want to start the damn story from here when you should be starting it from here, right? Then Destiny reminds her that you have taken low blows yourself, heifer, calling me names, basically talking about my character, talking about me as a woman. Tisha said, Destiny, I haven't begun. This is where Tisha said, bitch, let's go. She said, Destiny, I haven't begun to talk about you as a woman. Destiny caught it. I know you probably think that mouth is slick from the little things you've done over there with Marceau, but bitch, if you want to talk about me like as a woman, let's go, Tisha. Bring it. Say whatever it is you got to say. Talk about me as a woman. Tisha said, no, because I'm not you. I don't do like what you do. She said, no, Tisha, you said it. Talk about me. Let's go. Let's go. Put it all out here, baby. Put it out here and leave it on the motherfucking water. Because now Destiny is piping up, baby. She stood up straight and said, let's go, Tisha. You got something you want to say about my character? You got something extra you'd like to say about me as a woman? Bitch. We was watching it all go down. Now, while all this is happening, you see Trisha over there. Trisha is in mourning, baby. She is grieving. All she's doing is this, like she's seasick. Like, damn, I wish y'all stopped talking. Nell Fletcher is like rubbing shit out of her eyes, you name it. But what Nell said I'm not going to do, listen, Kimmy just invited me on this boat, so I'm going to let y'all get this shit out. I'm never jumping in it. While Kimmy is making all kinds of faces. Kimmy is so shocked at Destiny and Tisha, but when Destiny said, you can say whatever you like right the fuck now, and I promise you, if you thought what I said about Marceau was a problem, wait till you hear what else I got to say. She took Tisha down in 2 seconds. Tisha said, you know what, Destiny, you know what? You're right. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have called you a hoe in the box. Or whatever she said, put you in the hoe in the box category. Don't trust that hoe. She said, I shouldn't have said it. And I apologize to you for saying it. And I'm not even sure if Destiny accepted it. I think she was just sitting there looking at her like, bitch, we through. I'm done with this. I'm done with you. But Tisha said, don't you think you went low with me? She said, I don't. She said, you don't think talking about my husband was low? And Destiny said, no. I don't think so. I'm standing 10 toes down in it. I'm not apologizing for anything else. If you can't see the part you played in this shit and how you started it all, not to mention, Tisha, I'm putting it out there, even though they didn't show it like this. You were talking about Destiny the same fucking way. Telling her that you helped her when the chips was down, knowing the shit she was going through with her ex. That's exactly what you were talking about. You don't have to say his name for her not to know it. You were talking about that. So she talked right back to you. And Tisha had that cigar. Yeah, they were literally taking that smoke in, rolling it around, blowing it back out. Tisha didn't get it. She didn't understand it. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. But at the end of the day, she said, no, I don't. And we'll just keep it like this. We'll keep it like this because you don't understand what you do to get me to this place. And sometimes y'all might just need a break. Sometimes you just got to take it, child. You just got to take it. Now, on the men's boat, it wasn't much better. Okay. On the men's boat, Marceau said, I'm gonna address Chris Fletcher. So he told Chris Fletcher, listen, you got real disrespectful with me. Talking about who the fuck are you? I didn't appreciate that, Chris, because I really respected you and what you were doing in the community and whatnot with the business. And I was really hoping that we could do a project together. I never in a million years did I think that it would come to this between us, right? And Chris basically said, Ninja, please. I don't take anything back. I still think it wasn't your business. I don't believe I owed you a damn thing. Now, while Chris and Marceau are having their little back and forth, Martell has the biggest smile on his face because there's nothing that he likes better than to see Marceau Scott get his ass handed to him. You remember what Marceau said the other week when he said, going ahead and shut them Scott brothers down immediately, okay? Going ahead and hand them their ass right up front. Don't let them talk because they'll try to talk you into a circle. So Martell is sitting there like he's watching a tennis match. Anyway, Maurice jumps in it. And Maurice says, listen, I can vouch for my brother Marceau. He does respect you in business. In fact, he was going to give you the Whitehall house to sell when he finished it because him and Kimmy got into it because Kimmy thought the house should have gone to her. And he said, no, I want Chris Fletcher to have it, which none of us have heard before, right? Not one single person heard that story before. And if you want to be honest, I don't really think that Kimmy wants anything to do with Marceau and Tisha's businesses. But this is what Maurice says to Chris Fletcher. And this stumps him a little bit because Chris is like, well, I didn't know shit about it. This is the first time I ever heard that story. Same, Chris, this is the first time all of us are hearing this story. But Chris decides to drop his guard. Drops his guard a little bit. And Marceau says, I don't have no animosity towards you or any hard feelings towards you. And the two of them get up and hug it out. And he said, we are always going to be cool, Chris. No problem. Now, something goes down between Marceau and Martell on this boat, but we don't get to see it. We only get to hear about it at the table. But I wish they would have shown us that. I don't know why we didn't get to see it. But anyway, let's move forward. Marceau then asked Ken. He was a few seats away from Ken, okay? And he says to Ken, I don't want to start no problems, bruh, but I got a question for you. I got a big question for you. And try not to take it the wrong way. But how do you feel about Trisha grieving her damn ex-husband, the loss of her ex-husband, so visibly in front of you, all of us, God, and everybody? That woman still ain't right, okay? Hell, she is dripping with grief. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? knowing there's not a damn thing you can do to make her better. Ken looks at him, and Ken has this like question on his face, like he doesn't know if he should take Marceau, at face value, or if he thinks that Marceau is dogging him. He's dogging you a little bit, just so you know, Ken. He is. But Ken said it's not the divorce that she's upset about. It's all the other stuff that comes with it. Y'all just don't know about it. Marie says, I don't know. Because I didn't feel right cheering. Like we had done a toast to the divorce last night. I didn't feel right. And then Marie says, divorce hurts, man. That's when Martell chimes in. Martell said, the show shit it does. Divorce hurts. I still cry about my divorce. Yeah, that shit does hurt. Not to mention, Trisha's a walking red flag, bruh. He said, you can't trust that hoe. Basically, this is coming from Martell. All the shit that I know about that she's done up to this point, I don't know if I would feel comfortable with how she's feeling. I agree with Marceau. Maybe you are getting played here. Now, Ken looks like he wants to put hands on Martell. He literally tilts his head like, who the fuck are you? Didn't I tell you to stop talking about Trisha? You might have, but Martell is in his get back season, so you can forget it, sir. Okay? Anyway, after he looks at everybody like he's crazy, Maurice chimes in again. And he said, at the house, Kimmy told me that that Trisha spun the block. Will's also on this boat, y'all, just so you know. So he goes, she told me that your girl spun the block. Now, I'm not really sure why Maurice thought it was his place to even say that to Ken. Because what if he didn't know? Should it come from you in front of everybody in the group? It makes no sense. So Chris Fletcher says, did you know that? Did you know she spun the block? Ken said no. And that's when Will chimes in and says, wait a minute. Because he sees his boy getting punked by everybody. And he says, wait a minute. She did tell you the other day. Like, I don't know why you in your feelings, but get the fuck up out of them, okay? He said, she did tell you the other day. She told you that y'all both did your own thing, which is what spun the block means. So he's trying to help him out. Will always tries to help Ken out. Anyway, Ken said, well, that type of stuff, spinning the block, don't bother me. It doesn't bother me. And that's when everybody throws their hands up like, I know you lying. You are a big fat fraud if you are sitting here telling us that don't bother you. Ken says, well, I can't tell her what to do when I'm out there doing the same thing. And you remember that's what Will said to him at that dinner table when they had met each other. Will said, do not expect her to follow rules that you yourself don't follow. Doesn't mean that she's going to be there waiting on you, right? But at the time, Will didn't know that she was spinning the block too. Like he wasn't for sure. But when he says, I can't expect her to do what I'm not doing, every single one of those men, except for Will, said that's a damn lie. Okay? Marie said, if someone uses my toothbrush, I'm gone. And I'm assuming it's a metaphorical toothbrush. Like, what were you chewing on, bruh, that you call a toothbrush? But he says, if someone uses my toothbrush, I'm out. Nasty. Marceau says, listen, if ever you needed to insert the double standard, now would be the time. Tisha better never be doing what I'm doing, okay? I don't agree with that shit for a minute. Martell goes into confessional and says, I would never. Nobody better be in the motherfucking street that I'm dating, okay? You give a woman a pass, you know what they do? They'll do it again. Don't ever give a woman a pass. They're never supposed to do what a man does. That's what Martell says. I mean, every single one of them. The only person who knew not to say anything, because little Nell Fletcher would have flew over there like a hoverboard and drowned that man, had his curls all out of whack. It's Chris. Chris was the only person who stayed quiet. Chris and Will, because Will doesn't belong to anybody. He's free. Anybody who dates Will know what they're getting. Okay. Anyway, that's basically the boat ride. They all put Ken in check. Ken said the dumbest shit I ever heard. Ken said that the men want me to be soft like them. And I don't have those problems. I'm not an emotional guy. Not that emotional anyway. Ken, wasn't it you who said that you was posted up outside at a club with a woman who was prettier than Trisha, softer than Trisha, and that you wanted to make sure someone took a picture of y'all and send it back to her so that you could get a reaction out of her? That's light-skinned behavior. And you are very, very dark-skinned. You know what I'm saying? So you do feel a way about it. Everything you said was a lie. Get in touch with your feelings. Go sit on somebody's couch, because you definitely said that. People don't play those games unless they're trying to evoke emotion and reaction. So you are very emotional, because child, like I said, light-skinned behavior. So I don't know why he would adopt that bullshit, but he did, okay? But he did. I don't think that it was a real toothbrush. I think that Maurice got his teeth cleaned on something else that he calls a toothbrush, okay? Emotional facts. Anyway, last scene, which was hilarious. So Kimmy has dinner planned for the group, and they all show up at this restaurant, and it is this very dark setting. And everybody shows up, okay? And they're all feeling good. They have been outside all day enjoying each other's company. You could tell that the group is in a good place. And I am saying this because Kimmy started all of this shit. Kimmy started it, just so you know. So they come in one by one. Tisha and Marceau was hugging and holding hands, child. And Tisha says to Maurice, "You need to sit at the head of the table, bruh. This is your dinner party. You're gonna take care of the bill for all of us. Thank you, Maurice." You know what I'm saying? Maurice kind of, looked like he was gonna fuss about it for a second, and then he gets back in order. I don't want to cause no problems. I want us all to be cool, all to be happy. Am I painting the picture? Everyone sitting there smiling, getting their drink orders together. No problems whatsoever. Kimmy says, "What did you guys do on your boat today?" And Will chimes in. He said, "We took accountability for all the bullshit that we've had throughout the years, whatever it happens to be." And Will's new to the group. He said, "But we took accountability for some things." Marceau chimes in. Marceau is happy as a lark. Marceau is like, "That's right. In fact, can all the men give ourselves a round of applause for how we handled things today?" And then they all start clapping. And then Nell Fletcher looked around like, "Well, bitch," she started clapping too. And then Marceau said, no. The men, I asked for the men to clap. That's it. Just the men." And she went, "Oh, okay." So Kimmy looks pissed. In my opinion, on my TV screen, Kimmy did not look like she was happy about this. And even Trisha made a face like, so I don't know. It's giving that something was going on between her and Ken that did not get resolved. And now they're all talking about what a wonderful time they had on this boat. And Ken chimes in and says some shit like, "I'm really happy to see you and Martell get y'all shit together, because I look up to y'all." And I'm like, when did they get their shit together? Just last week, Marceau said, fuck Chris and Martell forever. I don't like them. But now he's letting everybody know that they're okay. And Tisha has to sit in it because she's been fighting Destiny for who? Over Martell, even though Tisha lied on that boat and said, I never told you to choose I never made you choose your friendship between me and Martell. Yes, you did, Tisha. You said it at the damn drag club. You said, I understand why you would continue your friendship with Nell Fletcher, but Martell, Destiny, you certainly did. Because that's when Destiny checked your ass and said, I'm never going to choose because you hoes always love to tell people to choose. And then I turn around and you're friends with them the next day. And that's just what happened there. After all of that shit, now you have Tisha sitting beside Marceau while he said he chose Martell's friendship again. If I'm not mistaken, and I listened to that scene a couple of times, I was like, what? What did they just do? Okay. But Marceau says, I love me some Chris Fletcher, even though it was F Chris Fletcher for the rest of his life last week. I love me some Chris Fletcher. I'm happy we cool again. So now everybody's talking about how cool they are. All the men are talking about how cool they are. And Kimmy can't take it. Not Kimmy. Kimmy could have rolled this out, especially since she just told Maurice, if anything goes down with Martell, you babysit him, you fix it, because Martell's always going to bring the thunder. Kimmy threw a little gasoline on Martell, struck the match, and said, is y'all cool with everything? Even the post that was out there? And Marceau goes, what post? There's no post. What post? And while he's saying that, Maurice says, Kimmy, Kimmy, we're fine. Kimmy struck the match now. She got it up and she throws it. She went, okay, because you love to protect Martell. You love to make excuses for Martell. And everybody's kind of looking around like, where's this coming from? And she said, you don't have any problems? Any problems with Martell? Like when he was laughing at you in that car accident? Bitch, that was on the show. We all saw it. And he said to him then, stop making me laugh, Maurice. Stop. He even said, I don't take anything back about what I said about you or your brother. And what did Martell say? You're a lawyer. If what I'm saying is a lie, sue me. That's what Martell said to him to his face at the table. Why would you bring that back up here if they said they squashed the beef? But Kimmy said, fuck that. I don't like y'all being cool with Martell, so we're gonna have to get this fire started. And Martell said, what did I say? What did I say? And she said, oh, you did laugh at him. Now, Maurice, you did laugh at him. And he said, why did I laugh? What did you tell me, Maurice? Why did I laugh? What did you tell me? And Maurice said, I said I hit a tree, then a pole, then an animal. And Martell went like this to turn his head to the side. And then everybody looked the opposite way and all laughter erupts from both sides of the table. From both sides of the table, laughter erupts. Ha, 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 ha. Boop, 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 boop. Tisha's laughing. Marceau's laughing. Marceau tried too. He was like this. Then finally, he just turns to the side. Once Tisha sees him, Tisha's like crying tears. And Martell said, so what did I say that? What am I? Everybody laughed. Everybody laughed, Kimmy. Hell, you laughing. Kimmy said, I didn't laugh. Don't do that. Don't put that on me. I didn't laugh. He went, well, everybody's laughing. Maurice all of a sudden has to get hype for Kimmy, even though that's not where his heart was. And that's the truth. I think if Kimmy wasn't there, he wouldn't have given a shit, because everybody at the table truly is laughing. And he could have said the shit was funny and just left it. But now they're sitting there eating, they're still arguing. What was funny, Martell? What was funny? I had a concussion. And Martell said, I didn't know that shit, but that makes it funny. Because now Martell's like, a concussion? You mean to tell me you hit a tree, a pole, an animal, then your ass went to the hospital with a concussion? Is that what you're telling me? And they are stumping their feet to the ground laughing. Marie said, cool. If you want me to laugh, I got some shit I can laugh at. And Marceau said, Maurice, I didn't know any of that shit. You never told me that shit. But I'm going to tell you what I do know. And that's when Martell stands up. Okay? Everybody's eating. Now people's eyes are bucked open like, what the fuck is he about to do? Martell stands up and screams like he had a bullhorn in his hand and said, if your ass hit a tree, a pole, then an animal and got a concussion, you was motherfucking drunk. You was drunk. Okay? I'm going to say it out loud for you if you fucking can't. You were drunk. That's the only way you'd hit a tree, a pole, and an animal and have a concussion. Those are the only ways. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And Maurice didn't even deny he was drunk. What Maurice said was, I was found innocent in a court of law. That doesn't mean you weren't drunk. Now, Kimmy isn't saying anything, but everybody is sitting there like, what? What? Because things had went so smooth on that boat. And this is only day 2. I think they got a third day that they're supposed to be there. But anyway, that shit was absolutely phenomenal. Okay? I enjoyed it. My scene snatcher is Martell Holt for this week. Martell Holt said that he's taking his crown back from the Scotch. You thought this was your show, bitch. I don't care if I am on here solo dolo, okay? Before he used to play off Melody. This time he said, I'll play off my fucking self. And it will be what it'll be. Okay? That was a scene snatcher. Kimmy, I'm going to give you the clown because you straight up said that you didn't want any problems with Martell. And now you got one. Because next week, Martell said, Kimmy better not say another fucking word to me. If Maurice got something that he needs to say, she better talk to Maurice first and then let Maurice relay it to me. Don't address me. That lets you know right there, Martell's not playing any games. Just get this story out, y'all. I need the story about how this entire friendship broke down. It had nothing to do with Ariane, in my opinion. We already know, it was already shared by way of Melody and Martell, that Martell met Ariane at his cousin's house or at a party, and his cousin was there, but the Scotts were not. And she already said that Martell was cheating throughout the marriage. That means it was another reason. So the story about the Scotts hiding it wasn't true, in my opinion. I think it was something else, because she did say that she knew he was a serial cheater, which relieves the Scotts from that lie. But we need to know why they really fell out. So that's what I'm hoping, child. You said that's what Kimmy gets. Kimmy looked crazy by the end of this scene. Crazy. And this is somebody who literally said Martell starts it. You started it. And the fact that you did not like that Martell and Marceau seemed to squash their beef, because you thought if nothing else, you thought you could count on Marceau. But Marceau flipped the script again. And now, Tisha, you owe Destiny an apology, because Marceau shouldn't have failed that easy for that shit. Child. I know y'all like to say that Martell is a good guy. They all said Martell is a good guy. How do you think that the charges got dropped when Marcel put them charges on Martell and got that restraining order? How do you think it got dropped? Because Martell was a good guy who wasn't going to do anything to him. That was what was out there. Child, it's a hot mess. But anyway, that's it, y'all. That is the show for today. Okay. I still have RHOA to do, and I might do that a little later before the next one comes on. But that's it in a nutshell. Okay. Now I'll just do 2 shows for next week, child. That's it. That's it. Anyways, I appreciate y'all for coming over. Y'all know I always do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you to all of my moderators, including Lady D Keys. I didn't realize you came through. Thank you, Miss Lady D Keys, for coming in. You said, I think that the animal popped out and stole the scene. The animal is a scene stealer. Cool. Yes, yes, yes. Well, it can be a tie. Martell and the animal, they stole the scene. But anyways, y'all, thank y'all for hanging out with me on this fine Sunday. Happy Memorial Day weekend, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all keep it safe out there. Hit the like button, share the video, become a subscriber if you are not already. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. Make sure you are following me over there on Instagram. That way, if you like my brims, you can get one. I'll get them all tricked out for you too. And until the next one, bye-bye.